Welcome, everybody, to the Assuminati podcast.
Yeah!
Woo!
Woohoo!
Oh, yeah. Staying alive
yeah.
in this. Oh, there we go. Is that Gibb? Is that Barry Gibb I hear?
I think so. You better not be giving anything away.
It very well might be. Let's see. So, everybody, we hope you liked last week's episode where we dove into the 60s.
Woo! Good years!
What a great decade that was.
Fantastic decade.
We gave our picks for the album that you can listen to start to finish without skipping any tracks. We hope you liked the picks. We really enjoyed hearing some of your picks and even some of your feedback, so thank you for that. This week, we're on the same mission, except this time we're going ahead to the next decade, 1970s.
Of the 70s.
Right.
Stay alive.
It was the best decade because I was born in the 70s.
Oh, that's
Well,
right. You're
it's the best decade because I was not born.
bicentennial, right?
Okay.
That's right.
That's right.
Okay, so we're gonna give our picks for the No Skip album of the 70s. Can you do it? It took me a while, so let's see what these other gentlemen picked as well. I went first last week. I'm not going first again. I can't do it. I might change my mind in the middle of the episode based on what you guys pick. So there, I'm gonna fight for my right.
Well, I actually picked one this week.
That's epic.
Now, it was hard. I spent the whole week researching this, listening to different albums, and I was able to narrow it down to two bands. Now, I will tell you what I didn't pick. It was runner-up for me. The Eagles, Hotel California.
Okay.
Fantastic album.
What a dominant band of the 70s. Love it.
Yeah, and for the most of today, while I was rocking out to it, I didn't think it could be beat until I turned on some Fleetwood Mac.
Ooh, Rumors?
Rumors.
That's a great album.
Oh man.
Hopefully I didn't steal your
Good
pick.
You almost
But I dove into it, and that album is just fantastic. I mean, you can turn it on. The difference it has between, Hotel California is kind of a down, might refer to it as what my grandma would say is that's the devil's music.
did. Oh, wow. Oh,
Yeah,
but
my mom would say
Fleetwood
that
Mac.
too. So
Yeah. Fleetwood Mac, I mean, Rumors was just a great album. It actually, even though Hotel California is known to be one of the best albums of all time, Rumors actually beat it out for album of the year in 1977.
77.
So my favorite song on the album is Dreams. Might put me in touch with my girly side a little bit, but was able to rock out to it. And my wife walked in while I was, jazzing out to it, and even she started, bouncing around to the music. So, solid pick. Really enjoyed listening to it.
Stevie Nicks is one of my favorite all-time singers. Just her voice is just amazing. In fact, Michelle will tell you that she's my girl to listen to. Stevie Nicks is where it's at. She can sing to me all day and all night, and I would not get sick of it. She's awesome. And a great songwriter too.
Underrated. Absolutely.
Totally.
Mm-hmm.
Good pick,
Rumors,
Robert.
man. Go Your Own Way, I think, is on that album as well.
Yep. Go Your Own Way. Don't Stop. You Make Loving Fun.
Yes.
Really some solid picks on that album when they put that together.
Yep.
Did you read into did you look into how it was made, the relationships that they were in at the time?
Yeah, it was a little bit of lovers' quarrel, some affairs, divorce. Most of the band would only talk to each other about music. They were no longer speaking outside of that. So, troubled times. But the other thing is, while they're recording, it's rumored that they were all high all the time.
They were.
And maybe that's why the lyrics are so fantastic.
They were. Stevie Nicks. They actually aired an episode about the Rumors album last night. It was just crazy timing. And she said, you name it, they were on it. So,
Yep. But I think that's a common theme between the 60s and 70s. And maybe that's why the music was so good.
For sure.
Maybe.
Get you in touch with your inner thoughts and self.
Hey, kids.
Well, maybe
kids. Drugs are bad.
Don't do drugs.
Drugs are bad.
Don't do
Okay.
drugs.
Okay.
Yeah, dared not to do drugs. But not only are they just great songwriters, they're poets, able to put it all together. One thing I really liked about the album is it just kind of flowed. There wasn't anything on there like, the song's getting too long, ready to skip to the next one.
Just straight up
Yeah,
heartache.
I'm
Like
with you.
it was heartache the entire album almost. They had,
Mm-hmm.
they had broken up. They had their quarrels, and now they had to go make an album together.
Yeah.
The emotion here is unreal. Yeah, there's some deep stuff on this album. The Chain, is that on there as well?
Yeah.
I think it's my favorite on that album.
The Chain is on there.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's hard to pick your favorite on that album because like all those songs are just so good. They
Yeah,
could all be number one hits.
It's almost like a greatest hits album.
Yeah.
Really.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Gold Dust Woman, I think. Let me see if I can
Yeah.
look this up.
Yep.
Oh, there it is.
Gold Dust
Songbird.
Woman.
Wow. Secondhand News. Yeah. Yeah, you're right. If you're to make a Fleetwood Mac greatest hits album, most of these are on it.
That's
Yeah,
for
so
sure.
I did have that one. So I was trying to whittle some albums down, and that was in my probably top 10. I think the only thing that led me away from that, and right or wrong, I'm just telling you, is the recent treatment of Lindsey Buckingham from
Right.
the rest of the group.
Wow.
So it's like that kind of soured me a little bit on the Fleetwood Mac. Just it has nothing to do with the album, and it has nothing to do with that time frame. And really, it is one of the best albums of the 70s for sure.
Yeah.
But lately, how they treated Lindsey Buckingham, they just bounced him out of the band after 30 something years,
Mhm.
40 years, I don't know. And didn't treat him nice, but whatever.
Yeah.
In the
That's
words
just kind
of
of how bands work.
in the words of Jack
That's for
Black,
sure.
how can you kick me out of what is mine?
That's right. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's why
Unreal.
we can't be in a band together because I'm worried we would have some quarrels.
Well,
There might be some
Well,
quarrels.
we'll start some if there aren't any. We'll make this interesting. Well,
And I
good
can't
pick.
sing.
Good pick, Robert.
Yeah, good
Thank
pick.
you.
That was on both of our
Solid.
radar. I almost picked it myself. I couldn't believe I got to watch that entire interview last night. That almost made me pick it alone. Drugs.
Yeah, I
are
was
bad.
worried you guys
Okay.
were going to pick it, but after I listened to Hotel California like 4 times today,
Mm,
I'm glad I remembered about this album.
good. Yeah. As much as I love
For
the
sure.
Eagles, I think this was the better pick. I agree. I mean, I've got the Eagles' greatest hits up on my wall right now, Robert.
Mm-hmm.
Um,
I like the Eagles. What's your favorite Eagles song, though? Songs.
my favorite is Victim of Love.
It's a good song.
I like that one.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Seven Bridges Road.
I just like to sing to Desperado.
Yeah.
Desperado.
But they
Yeah,
might
I don't
take
know
you down
why
with
I
them.
like that song so much, but like I just think the rhythm of it, the vocals, like it's just a low key song. Like you
Yeah.
can just listen to
But
it whenever.
It's a masterpiece. That and
Mhm.
Tequila Sunrise, I think, came out the next year. I mean, it's
Mm-hmm.
just that. Almost what America does for me. Do you guys like the band America? That's
Oh,
another
totally.
America.
just that.
America.
Oh,
Boys
and
never did get nothing to the Tin Man.
the rain was coming down in the
That he didn't.
afternoons and
Didn't already have.
Dun, 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 dun. So
That's good
please
stuff, though.
Believe in
Mhm.
me. Oh, America. I could talk about America all night. The trio met as sons of U.S. Air Force personnel stationed in London. So they are
Okay,
American.
so
They're American.
They're American,
We're good,
but
we're
they
good, we're
formed
good.
in London.
Whew.
Okay.
Okay, we're good.
And they went around London saying, America. I'm from America.
You from America too? We should write some chill music.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's great. Are you ready for mine?
Okay.
Yeah,
Well,
bring it on.
let's do it.
Okay. Should we start with my runner-up too?
Yeah.
Yeah,
okay.
let's hear it.
So again, I had like 30, there are like 30 albums that I could really plug in at any time and just listen to them from the 70s, from start to finish without skipping
So many.
a song. So one of the 30 was the Grateful Dead,
Mm,
believe it or not, American Beauty.
American Beauty. Wow.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's a good one.
And
I gotta-
I don't really describe myself as a deadhead or anything. It's just like you, Robert, I listened to tons of music this week, and that was one of the albums that I listened to, and I found myself just loving it again, you know. But there's great songs on there. You got all the classics. It's like a greatest hits album. You got Sugar Magnolia, Box of Rain, Addicts of My Life, Friend of the Devil mentions Utah. There's a little fun fact for you.
I got to do some work on that album. I got to revisit it.
Spent the night in the cave in Utah, in the cave.
Wow.
Yeah.
I bet he
Listen
did.
to that song.
I myself have spent a night in a cave in Utah.
I bet Jerry did.
Yeah. Yep. Anyway, that's my runner-up. So my pick is, drum roll, maybe you can add one of those.
Do you have any hints, or I feel like this is gonna.
Okay, all right, I'll give you a hint. Brandon, you'll know this. Maybe you'll know it too, Robert. But the very last song in the series Breaking Bad is from this band. No,
I'm trying to think of it. Like it's playing in my head.
Okay, all right. One other hint.
Is it
this band recorded at Abbey Road Studios? It's Badfinger.
Oh,
I'm gonna go with Badfinger. Badfinger, straight up.
Wow,
is the name of the album.
Because Pink Floyd recorded at Abbey Road. They recorded a couple albums. I think Dark Side of the Moon.
These guys, it was after the newly formed Apple Records. Okay, so the Beatles formed Apple record label, and I think, I could be wrong, so don't quote me on it. Maybe do some internet searching or something. But I think this was the very first band signed under the newly created Apple Records label.
I think you're right. I had heard that in one of those million documentaries that I've watched.
Okay.
We
me too. I'm just kind of going by memory. Yeah. Fact check me on that. But I think they were the very first, band to record under that newly formed label. In fact, they have, you guys will know this probably, but their first, not this album, but their very first album, one of their songs Paul McCartney wrote and gave it to the band to kind of help them get their start.
That was nice of him.
He talks about that. Yeah.
And this album was more, this had, and the song that I was referring to in Breaking Bad was Baby Blue. As Walt is dying, they're playing this song Baby Blue, and that's comes from the band Badfinger. And it's kind of I love the whole startup story of them, and then it kind of becomes a tragedy pretty fast. These guys were expected to be kind of the next big super group. And so George Harrison jumped in there and really helped these guys. In fact, he gave their lead guitarist a guitar, a Gibson SG, I think. And he recorded with them on one of their songs. I can't remember which. I think it was Day After Day. Well, anyway, don't quote me on that one either. Maybe fact check me.
No,
on that.
You're good.
One of the songs on there, I think he did he recorded with the group. And he kind of took them under his wing and kind of helped them get their start. So these guys, awesome. If you haven't listened to them, Robert, I suggest it. Brandon, if you haven't listened to the album from start to finish,
I have not listened to the whole album, but I really like that song.
I've never done it start to finish. Yep.
Yeah, check it out. I mean, it's worth your time, and that's my pick this time. So there were so many albums, but this one this week just kind of stuck with me. But I'm not discounting anything else from the 70s, because there were so many albums. I mean, there's just a ton. Technically Let It Be was 1970.
Yep.
And I kind of went back and forth on that one. I mean, there's just tons of them. But this one, to me, again, this is all just kind of in the mood that you're in. That's when you pick these. Yeah. But this one for me stood out just because of their story. It's a tragic story. The lead singer, the songwriter and lead singer, took his own life, with the other guy that was writing songs with him. At the same time, they kind of ended up killing themselves because their manager took advantage of them and stole all their money and all that stuff. You should really, if you check out some documentaries, maybe look at one for Badfinger. It's a fascinating story. It's kind of sad.
They were involved in the collapse of Apple Records, I believe.
Oh, were they? Okay, I didn't know
Or
that.
I don't think they were the cause of it, but I think they were caught up when I think it was mid 70s when Apple Records collapsed or was dissolved. And I think Badfinger was caught up in that. I think the manager, you're right, the manager took them
Yeah.
for all they were worth. And wow,
Could be. I mean,
What a-
it's a really tragic story for those guys.
what a
Kind of makes
deep-
me sad, but
that's a-
you know,
that's a deep pick, Matt. Wow.
there you go.
Well done. I've
right.
added it to my list.
And just to remind everybody, this is not the best album of the 70s, in our
Right.
opinion. This is an album you can listen to front to back, start to finish, not skip one song. So that's,
Mhm.
you're right.
Yeah,
'cause
in
there's-
fact,
There's
this
some really
album
good
doesn't.
songs.
Sorry, go
that-
ahead, Robert.
Yeah, there's some really good songs on other albums, but the whole album's not, the best.
Yeah, this one, it peaked. I think I think their number one song was like number 30 or something on the top charts or whatever. It never really got huge amount of traction at the time, but they were still a great group. They were expected to be kind of a super group, and had they continued and had better management, I think they would have been. We'd be talking about these guys in the same light as like a Tom Petty or
Mm,
somebody like that. I think they're kind of at that ilk.
Hmm
wow.
My
Yeah.
first concert ever was Tom Petty and the Heartbreakers.
Hey, man. Hey.
Hmm
It's good stuff.
Yeah.
Guitar George. He knows.
I think that's a
Oh, the
70s album. I
chorus.
think Damn the Torpedoes came out in the 70s, right?
There's so many. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a
Mhm.
It's what a decade, man.
yeah.
And I think we felt the stress of picking an album last week. This week was more stressful for me. There was even more, in my opinion. The late 60s, it was 3 or 4 years we were picking from. And this decade was the entire decade. Every year had a major album, and man, great pick. You've given us some homework, Matt. Thank you.
There you go. Yeah. you bet.
Wow.
Kudos.
Awesome. I'm gonna look up that Dead album too. Good pick on that. Okay, my turn.
Let's hear it.
It's all you.
My runners up. They're on my wall. I created my 70s
I
wall.
noticed you changed them.
All of them are 70s. There was so many albums by ELO, Steve Miller, Neil
Van
Diamond,
Halen.
Van Halen just barely got their start. Zeppelin 4, probably better than Zeppelin 2, the one that I picked last week. But I couldn't pick Zeppelin again. So the rule was no Zeppelin, no Floyd. I tried to give myself that rule. Wish You Were Here was in my top 5. I was ready to pick
Mhm.
Dark Side of the Moon,
think-
The Wall,
Yeah, Dark Side of the Moon. That's a
Oh,
good
Yeah.
pick too.
Dark Side on the Moon. I listened to that this week.
which I believe
Yeah, that's
was
a good one.
recorded at Abbey Road, if I remember correctly.
Right.
Just so many picks, so many albums, and they were all crafted to listen to start to finish. Just an amazing decade. What an amazing decade. I had such a hard time. So I went with It's a City.
Chicago.
No.
Boston.
Boston.
Oh, okay. That's a good one. You didn't go with Chicago?
Chicago's great, but they've got great albums you can listen to start to finish.
Mhm.
I always find myself skipping like 1 or 2 songs though for Chicago. They-
Okay.
They're a little bit soft for me in some areas, but again, they're amazing. I mean, it's
They are
Chicago.
amazing. That's a good group.
Boston's debut album, self-titled Boston.
Excellent choice.
Now you picked The Doors last week,
Mhm.
which I think goes in the top 5 best debut albums of all time. I'm putting this one in it as well.
Oh, it's an excellent album.
They've sold, I think, last time I looked, I guess it depends on who you're looking at, 25 to 30 million copies of this thing, of Boston's
Just a couple.
debut album. Just a few.
Yeah, just a few.
A few
Just a
people bought
few.
it.
It's like a drop in the bucket.
Wow. And it keeps going. People are still buying it. That number's still skyrocketing.
Is that that lead singer too? Brad Delp? Is it Brad Delp?
Brad Delp
Something Delp.
is the lead singer. However, the brain behind the entire operation was
It is the
Schultz.
city of Boston.
It's the city
Yeah,
of Boston
no.
and their beans.
He
They're wicked.
invented he invented the music box, right? Music
did.
box amp.
He did. So a graduate of MIT, worked for Polaroid, I believe, for years. Even when their first album came out, he was still there. And he
Didn't want to give up the benefits.
Right?
Free camera
Probably
every
not.
year.
Sound familiar? So he crafted that sound. That there is a Boston sound. When you hear a Boston song, the first chord, you can tell that it's that band because of the sound that he created, that he engineered in his basement. He built his own music studio. He had the knowledge to do it, so he did it.
Smart dude.
He crafted that entire first album. Delp helped on a few songs. And what's funny is the more I read into it, he used Delp and his song as a decoy for the record company. So, hey, look, we're working on an album. Hey, record company, look at this thing. It's a great song. And it was an amazing song. I think it's the last one on the track, or last one on the album. And while he was pitching this decoy, hey, look, we're working on it. It sounds amazing, right? He recorded the rest of the album in his basement and
awesome.
and made it happen. And then they brought in some vocals, and Delp has an amazing voice. It's very, very unique, very identifiable. And Schultz was the engineer behind it all.
Also ended up killing himself. We're talking about all these bands.
Wow.
Lead singers
AKA don't do drugs.
All this.
Right. Yeah. Well, that was he had some depression, I think, and ended up doing that much later. I think it was after kind of the group was kind of declining.
A lot of tragedy, a lot of creativity, though. A lot of amazing things happened just with the few albums they put out. This is a greatest hits album. If you look at it,
I agree. I'm sad that I didn't listen to it this week.
Oh, front to back. It starts with More Than a Feeling. Like that's the first song on the album. Peace of Mind is second. And then there's the Foreplay Long Time. So it's that amazing 2-3 minute intro. And then it goes, it's been such a long time. And then Rock and Roll Band, my favorite song by Boston, starts the B-side. Rock and Roll Band, everybody. Yeah. Then Smokin', Hitch a Ride, Something About You, and then Brad Delp's song, Let Me Take You Home Tonight. Let me take you home tonight. He wrote that. Got to give him some credit. That was the decoy that made the rest of the album happen. His voice.
It's amazing, isn't it?
Man.
I think the record executives called him the golden voice. Something
good.
Like that. Yeah, it's amazing.
We didn't even mention disco.
Yeah.
And I'm glad we didn't, but I'm kind of but at the same time, it was a huge part of that decade.
It was.
Would you consider I hit on some of the Stevie Wonder's stuff? Man, that's good. Great stuff.
Yeah, I went back and forth on Stevie Wonder.
It's more funk to me than disco, but I know some people, I think it's called.
No, it's funk for sure.
I miss funk. Disco definitely killed funk. So how about Yellow Brick Road? Elton John.
Yeah, that's a good one too. So the Who was on my list too.
Yep, they were as well.
I went back and forth on those guys.
My generation.
Yeah.
This Supertramp, Breakfast in America at the tail end.
That's an awesome album.
John Denver's Rocky Mountain High. That's a greatest hits album. Great. And then just the Pink Floyd albums. How do you just pick one? How do you? I read that their favorite one, at least David Gilmour's favorite one, was "Wish You Were Here."
How about the Cars?
Okay.
We didn't talk about it, and I'm kind of surprised you haven't mentioned it because you're from that neighborhood. But what about Night Moves?
Bob Seger, baby.
How about Bob Seger?
Bob Seger is he's got a great name, doesn't he, Robert? And
Bobby.
I listened. He agreed to do a commercial, which he vowed not to do.
Like a rock.
Like a rock.
He's like a rock, and he likes to rock.
Like a rock.
About Damn the Torpedoes. I'm telling you that one. That one was in my top 3. I had it narrowed down to 3. So that was my third. That was my second runner-up. It's a great album.
What if You
we
just
sang.
play the song yourself, instrumental.
Okay.
Yes.
I don't know.
They can't flag that.
They sometimes can. If I play it good enough, they'll flag it. So no problem here,
Don't play
right?
it good.
Hmm.
Come on,
Well,
man.
in that case, I'll play it.
I woke up this morning. Come on, get it, Brandon. Sing it.
You make me wish I had talent.
Is that how it goes?
Yeah, something like that. More than a feeling.
More than a feeling. When I hear that old song they used to play, I'm dreaming. When I see Mary Ann walk away.
That's kind of sandwich.
So I'll throw.
I like being.
That's like a fluffer nutter.
Yeah. What?
Have you never had a fluffer nutter sandwich?
Yeah.
No. What?
OMG.
So it's
So it is peanut butter and marshmallow fluff.
Oh, that doesn't
On
even
bread.
sound good.
it's not bad.
It's actually pretty darn good.
It's really good if
I
you
like to
grill
add
it,
a little bit of jelly with it.
or if you grill it too.
Yeah, grilled's good too.
Ugh, that sounds like a stomach ache.
Yeah, it is. It nowadays it is for me.
Ooh, did you get a nice haircut? I'm seeing a trim.
Oh, okay.
Like your cut, bro.
There's a little trimmy trim.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I got my fluffy going on. I need to
That word has changed for me now, and
Me too.
Okay. I noticed a few times when I look at my phone, it looked like I was sleeping. So I'm going to try not to look at my phone.
nice.
We were that entertaining last time.
I thought Zeppelin would get us flagged, but it was the Doors.
Interesting.
The ghost of Jim Morrison came back and got us. So,
It was
Hey, Mr.
almost
Zoom Man.
not
hey,
solid.
Mr. Zoom Man, how long have we been going? We're gonna open up a GoFundMe and help Robert retrieve his pillows.
I don't know. I don't know if I can do this.
I'm out of here. We all know how Matt feels when he's told to do something. So
Matt, do not cheer.
That's right. Don't tell me.
don't you dare cheer.
Don't even think about it.
Don't you tell me what to do. So Robert, yours is Desperado, huh?
Desperado. Yeah, it's just a good song.
Keep singing it, dude. Come on.
I'm not a singer.
It's okay. Neither am I.
I mean, I don't want to get flagged because I'm going to sing it so bad that like the Eagles will be coming after me and tell me never to sing again.
They're too
Of the
busy.
groups out there that would come after you, it would be the Eagles.
They're